Satan party. CRL commission must fall. CRL commission must fall. Magagato Satan Oregon. Now listen. We are going to go to our persecutors. These persecutors, they have given us this notice. We have received this within 4 days that we should appear before them. Failure to do so, we have to be in prison. Now today, I am prepared to go to prison.
We've received anecdotal stories and evidence about commercialization of religion through various means, which we've then looked at. Some of them were specific complaints about specific churches that are doing specific things, which we are looking into. Abuse of people's belief systems through advertisements in the media that promise miracles. We have received those complaints through Zonke, for instance, complaining about other traditional healers and THO, that these traditional healers are promising people that they'll get 18,000 rands a day in their wallets. It's part of the investigation. It's not only Christians, it's across the board. We're looking at everything. We received complaints about pastors who are asking people to eat snakes, grass, leaves, rats, and to drink petrol. Interestingly enough, this complaint came to us from a community council. How do we get to the truth? What makes an African to eat a snake? You know, Africans say, "Musabisa wenyo," you are so afraid of the person like you are afraid of the snake. And if generally, I'm not saying all, Africans are afraid of snakes, what would make them, what would convince them that it's okay? People know they're not cows. They don't eat grass. What is this level of desperation that's going to make our people be willing to eat grass and wash it down with petrol? Are we still talking about the same gospel? Are we still talking about the same issues? And we have said, these are the things we need to look into, and these are the things we need to be aware of and conscious of.
Jesus!
All those babies, God is flushing them out.
And this woman here.
Grass, drinking petrol, and then he proceeded to pour the boiling water all over the congregation and all over himself. And apparently the power of God.
General Assembly leader is convinced spraying his congregates with doom, Rabalago's antics.
I see food.
I do hereby swear.
Shall be the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me God. So help me God. So that's
A priest in South Africa is facing trial for animal cruelty after he fed his congregation live snakes in a bizarre ritual to test their faith.
I did not feed people snakes, I feed them chocolate. That's why no one died after eating the snakes.
Did anyone in your church eat someone's
Yes, they did eat the wave and human hair, and also, but it was not tasting like a wave.
Whose wave did they eat?
Any wave of the congregants, those who understand the spiritual matters of the kingdom. Because they are in the trance, that's such people. They were in the trance, and what's happening, that's why they never feel pain, they never do anything. It's the same herpes that they buy on the shop.
Have you eaten the snake yourself?
Yes, I did.
How many times have you eaten?
As long anyone can come now, who has the Holy Spirit, declare that this is food, I will eat it.
Who came to you and said it was food?
No, even me, when I prayed for it, I started by eating before I feed people, the congregants.
So you have eaten the rodents and the snake and the ants.
That's why I'm saying all things are possible with God. So Romans chapter 14 says, who has a strong faith, eat everything. So I cannot give people what I don't know.
I want to also just say something. I think that one of the greatest things South Africa has going for it is the fact that there are so many people of faith in our country.
Yes.
And I understand that these hearings are dedicated to looking at problems that it creates and addressing it and finding a better way. But I know that the broader mandate of the CRL Commission is to promote that. And I think that in a certain way, I know that there needs to be, that there are concerns, but in a certain way, the fact that there's such a thriving of religion. I'm saying in Europe, religion is dying, but in South Africa, it's thriving. And there is a certain element of where a young pastor decides he can set up his own church. And I think, I understand the problems that come with that, but I think it's also very beautiful. And I think the challenge that you will face in your recommendations is finding the balance that encourages that kind of free spirit and that kind of really spreading of the word of God in the country, with making sure that it doesn't lead to the excesses that led to the establishment of these hearings in the first place.
The Nigerian pastor Timothy Omotoso has been arrested in Port Elizabeth. He's accused of sexually molesting young girls in his congregation.
Pastor Omotosho, Omotosho arrived in the country in
the year 2000.
2000.
Yes.
But his church was registered before that.
Yeah, he arrived. Initially, we were in England. So in 1999, there was a gentleman that came. He started with the FS project. So he sent one of the local pastors in England to South Africa. The original, it was the FS project. And then when he arrived, we changed it to Jesus Arena International and eventually became Jesus Dominion International. But over the years, obviously, it's changed directorship.
I think you need to alert them to the mistake. Because if you are registered as having been a director in 1999, whereas you came to this country in 2000 and...
I came in 2002.
After 2000. And 2002. So it means these documents are not correct.
Njengoba silapha soba yi7 sizi-angels sisuka emazulwini sithi ke thina ke siyi-angel ministry okokuqala andingopastor.
We are saying as angel ministers, firstly, I am not a pastor.
Ndiyingelosi esuka emazulwini.
I am an angel from heaven.
Ndihlala ngasekunene kukabawo.
Sitting at the right of the Father.
Ikhona ingelosi eyamka emazulwini enithi nguLucifer enguSathana esizoyifuna emhlabeni. uLucifer ufikile ke emhlabeni uSathana wenza waphefumlela iconstitution yase South Africa nezikolo. Silapha nje sithi i-education irongo. Ngenxa yoba uSathana uzithabathele kuye izikolo. Evunyelwe nguNelson Mandela Rholihlahla. sithi abantwana mabangayi ezikolweni ngoba uSathane ungenelele ezikolweni. Sisithi abantu mabangayimameli iconstitution ngoba idriver nguSathane. Iconstitution ndiyithatha njengomoya kaSathane. Sizothi ihlabathi malibuyele kuyehova uThixo uSathane ahambe uphelelwe emhlabeni. Siyayazi indlela nale kaZuma izawuphelela phi. uZuma waphefumlelwa nguSteve Tshwete, unomoya kaSteve Tshwete, akekho nomsuzo ehlabathini uZuma.
We're a country of laws. If you break the laws of this country, the system will take care of you. You have broken the laws. You've told us in no uncertain terms. We are breaking laws. We are abusing children. When you deny children the right to education, the right to health, the right to social services, we are abusing those children according to the laws of this country. And we need to clear that ground and agree that you are saying we are flouting all the laws of this country.
How do you deal with differences when it comes to factions inside Islam?
The Muslim Judicial Council has, in its constitution, makes it absolutely clear with and in regard to its founding principles. When we speak about Islam, like in Christianity, you have various factions within Christianity. Sometimes they can find themselves amicably. Sometimes we have we have conflict. Currently, within the Muslim community in South Africa, we are of those who belong to the belief of the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It's a terminology that is stated within our constitution. In short, it is known as the Sunni Muslim.
First of all, the person that will be introducing the entourage is Mr. Evans Matabeng. And order of presenting, historical background of ZCC, the Zion Christian Church and Khanya, employment of foreign pastors and healing will be Reverend Motola. And then Zion Christian Church fundraising strategies, soliciting of payments, funeral, wedding, prayer. How does the ZCC utilize its funds? Submission of additional info, transfer of funds to other countries will be Mr. Pakani Matau. Training of religious leaders, Zion Christian Church governing body conclusion will be Reverend Ima Feza.
Coming today is to support the things that he is doing.
It will be like we have, it will be like we eliminate DA.
You say we have incredible happenings, which is your church.
Incredible happenings is not written anywhere. People are just writing it. There's nowhere we write incredible happenings church. People, they write the media, incredible happenings church. It is incredible happenings.
Okay. So you say it's a PTY. It's incredible happenings. PTY LTD.
No, is it, what is it registered as?
What is it registered as?
It's registered as Strauss Corporation.
CC.
It's a CC.
Yeah.
Have you got a copy of that registration with you?
Any service we render on different services that they get, they will give it to me, I'll put it in incredible happenings.
You cannot confuse a private business, no matter how you couch it. You cannot confuse your appearance fees, whatever, and say you register that as a CC. because then it's illegal in this country to register a church as a CC.
So, but the attitude you come in here is as if you want to demonstrate something and prove a point. I don't know. To whom? I don't know. Because really, we want to engage with you. We are not fighting with you.
Where is the money that you collect every Sunday? Where do you keep it? What do you do with it? Where does it end up? How is it spent? Who spends it? Which governing body and structure spends it? Who signs at the bank? All those things will come from that bowl of money. Where does it go to? Profit. There must be a bank account. It can be in a bank somewhere in your house. It has to be in a bank account. Profit. We just want to know which bank account keeps the money from tithes, from donations, from the ministry itself. Where does the money go to? The money you collected last Sunday, what happened to it? The money you've been collecting every Sunday, what do you do with it? Those are public funds because they are donated by the public. The laws of this country say the judge has ruled that that's a public matter.
I think that question, I have no answer beyond what I said.
Your position in society is very high. You hold in high esteem, even by traditional healers, I must say. You held in high esteem by ordinary citizens who are not even going to your own church, who believe in your sermons on television, who follow you even if they are in other provinces. But you're sitting here in front of me and it pains me, Prophet. It pains me because I'm one of those who believed in you. You know that. The CRL has held you in high esteem. You know that. But today, you disappoint me. You bring shame to me.
South Africa is in crisis right now. We need to be building this nation. You can't summon and threaten religious leaders. You call them properly in a peaceful way and don't divide them. Don't say Ray is good, he brought in. Ray has a legal system. Ray has been favored by apartheid. All this is. Ray is living in a 13 million house. He has a way of making money without trouble. But those other black people who don't know the dynamics, they just make money and they don't even have those millions. They don't even, you understand? So there's a lot. Sangomas are selling muti, they are making money. They are collecting money. They have people who pay thousands, 14,000 to be a Sangoma, 27. They come here, we pray for them. We help them. If they say they know that I'm helping people, people are coming to support me to say, now, when I'm working right now, the media is here, is not gonna put that. I'm going to Alexander, the hostel roofs are gone, houses are gone. They are not putting that in the media. I have to go and help those people. These Indunas are here because I work in their communities and I help them. And I didn't know that, you know, the laws of helping them, somewhere I'm going to get myself in trouble.
You've been instrumental in training many pastors, also in ordination. Some of the people staging protests claim that they were trained by you, etc., etc. Yes. Tell us something about that.
I think that what happened was we have had about 13,000 people graduate from our Bible school. But what we've done in the process, we started with a 1-year program, moved it to a 2-year program, and now to a 3rd year. So we've really improved, I believe, the standard of theology that we present. Secondly, when we first started, it was more like everybody just going to do what they wanted to do. So that's why I want to say today publicly that I'm in 100% favor of what you're doing. I believe it's very necessary. I believe that there needs to be an accountability. I believe that the time has come for what is taking place now through the Commission, 100% behind that, and we'll do whatever we can to help with that. But over a period of time, then we begin to move from a charismatic fellowship of people. And let me say this, I'm the father of so many people that I've never met. There are hundreds of them that I'm their father, I don't even know who they are or what goes on. But we've tightened up, we've become a denomination as the Rainbow Family Churches. We only ordain after graduation and people that have qualified and gone through. And as I say, we've made that now up to 3 years. And we've improved that. But when we first started, it was like just a free fall, in a sense. And so we've grown into more organized.
Is it possible that you can drink petrol and become alive?
Huh?
Go and eat. Run, go and eat.
This one in and this one understand who's allowed to speak, who's representing him in their capacity as what he
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Can I have order here, please? Can I have order, please? No, can I have order, please? If you want to speak, then when you are allowed to speak, then you may speak.
If I'm not allowed?
Then you are not allowed to speak, sir. I'm afraid, sir. Excuse me?
I will speak.
This is a proper proceeding.
Freedom of expression. I'm allowed here.
We will have order.
Commissioner Porter, I think we've reached section 41.
I think so.
He is disrupting the work of the commission, and I hope you've advised him to where he's going. Have you called the police? No one is allowed to, let me read it to you, section 41, so that you advise your people where. Right now, he's in breach of the act. As we speak, he needs to know what is coming to him. Section 1A. A person commits an offense if that person willfully disrupts the proceedings of the commission or a committee of the commission or a session of a national consultative conference. Any person convicted of an offense in terms of subsection 1, that's the one I was reading, is liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 1 year, or to both a fine and such imprisonment. Commissioner Porter, can you swear me, please?
Okay.
No, it's not going to be sweared. Can we take a 5-minute adjournment? I need to take instructions.
Listen, you'll only get 5 minutes if I say so.
Chair?
Do you understand?
I get what you're saying, Chair.
Are you requesting for 5 minutes or are you demanding 5 minutes?
I'm requesting for 5-minute adjournment. I need to take instructions.
Wait a minute, you haven't given me.
Madam Chair,
I'm still asking Commissioner Porter if it's in line.
Madam Chair, I think give them 5 minutes just to...
Yes. Now we are given 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair.
There are many people consume things. Let's go now to Bree, let's walk around and see what people buy there. Do you want a human eye? Let me tell you that. It's illegal, but people are busy there. We know of stories in the past. I mean, we have people who eat things. So now, if grass is not edible, who died? Petrol, who died? That's why I said scientifically, let's not lie and say it's cook. Let them make cook without water. So now, what I'm saying is, let's look at this. It's not only me. It's not only me. There are lots of traditional things which are done in this country. People have been eating things which are not edible. And they crush them, they put them in food. This we know, people. I don't have to explain this. We know. Cannot say whether it's going to continue or not. The answer is from God, it's not from me. I cannot say it. But if I had to remain as I am, I'll remain as I am, no problem. Because I have to be submissive to him. If he says stop, don't do it, I'll stop.
The Holy Spirit?
Yes. If he says stop, I'll stop. The Holy Spirit is the same God.
Social media have shown photographs of Rabaloho spraying doom aerosol on volunteers during his church service at the weekend at the Mount Zion General Assembly. The 24-year-old said people came with injuries, and after they were sprayed, they were healed. Rabaloho has been dubbed the prophet of doom.
Because a lot of our pastors are aliens, are people from Nigeria.
I felt a little disappointed in being subpoenaed.
An institution of this nature shouldn't operate by way of stick. It should operate by way of consensus.
We were afraid too much to come to this room. This was emotional harassment.
Unfortunately, the Act is structured such that there's no room for letters of invitation, for obvious reasons, which we have explained to the media. That when you use public funds, it shouldn't be a hit and miss kind of situation. If we give, because we're going to go right around the country, if we give religious people invitations right around the country and we fly to Cape Town and nobody comes, we go to Northern Cape, nobody comes, we go right round. When the Auditor General comes here, he's going to ask you, okay, so where is the file of evidence, what they call the file of evidence, that should have attendance registers, who came, who didn't come, will be in serious trouble, will be said to be doing fruitless and wasteful expenditure.
I'm not a Christian because Jesus is not a Christian and God is not a Christian. Abraham was not a Christian. Moses was not a Christian. I believe God is above the law. I believe God speaks to me. I believe God is above the law of South Africa. If the law of South Africa goes against God, I believe that's wrong. I believe as a king, I rule my people. Please, news people, I am not a pastor, not a bishop. I'm a king and I'm a plendiologist or a prophet of God because I hear from God.
So you've got honey, you've got olive oil, you've got water.
I've got miracle cloths. We've got clothes, sometimes the suits, whatever you buy. Stickers on the cars, on the refrigerator, on the doors, on the windows. Some they buy my pictures, they keep it there according to their faith.
Is that part of the non-profit company, or do you have a PTY Ltd?
I won't define that because that's not my job. My job is to do what God tells me. And what God tells me doesn't come free to me. And I still think the mentality of the church not making profit is a disaster. And no church will ever have a power. Because I won't be on TV. You will not have known me. I won't have a website. I'll spend close to $1 million a month to run this ministry. If there was no faith water that I'm selling, thank God that I'm not a Christian because you were going to shut my business and it's helping people. I think government of South Africa must get to think again, calling the church. The church depends on the handout. The church must create job. The church must create wealth. I'm looking forward to this church that will be so rich, this nation, because the word church, in fact, I decided to not call myself church because you have clouded the word. The word church means the people who are called out by their king, nation, race. You know, it has nothing to do with the religious term.
We are saying as the CRL Rights Commission, which a whole range of people agree with us on, that the religious sector needs to be regulated. I always say lawyers have the Law Society, social workers have the council, and teachers have SACE, and everybody has a group of peers that they are accountable to. So what we're saying is that we're following the CRL Rights Act of 2002.